Mary Foltz, and I am the chairperson for the TPA Transition Steering Committee. We are a collective group of 5 individuals, myself, Mary Foltz, we have Chris Barrett, Kathy Snavely, Jessica Penchard, and Jim Scott. We have met now for 4 weeks. Our first meeting was on June 10th. Collectively, we recognize that there's been a 10-year history with a TPA presence in Lebanon County, but we're looking at this and approaching it as though we're establishing a new organization. And in that spirit, we want to acknowledge that Jessica Penchard has maintained the tourism efforts throughout the county, updating the website with events and membership, continuing the rebranding efforts that were taking place prior to the transition at the heart of it all, and making sure that that's moving forward with the distribution of the visitor guides. She's also working with the transition of the website from Visit Lebanon County to Visit Lebanon Valley, and doing a great job with that. We have this week partnered with the Lebanon Valley Chamber of Commerce to include 900 of these guides in the membership packets that are going out under the Operation Thank You on July 11th. So that's a great thing to get those distributed. We are working on compiling a best practice research from other Pennsylvania counties, looking at their websites, collateral, the compilation of the board, the makeup of the board, and just seeing what they're doing out there so we can have that information. We are working to develop guidelines and structure for the new TPA board. And we currently have a list of 25 people that are interested in serving on our board, which is great. We are actually developing then a format for the board selection process to actually include the completing of a board application. And we have scheduled a public forum for August 18th at 6 p.m. here at the county courthouse in the auditorium. It's going to be about an hour long. It's just an information session for those individuals in our community that would be interested in serving on the future TPA board. And it's just an opportunity for us to share the direction that we're going and just some information and expectation of a board member. Our county solicitor, Dave Warner, he is working through the steps of establishing the new TPA. He is going to be registering the corporate name Lebanon County Tourism Promotion Agency, Inc. with the Commonwealth. Then we will be registering for an EIN number. And then we're going to be developing bylaws and registering the new corporation under a 501c6, which is a business trade association. And we had join us on June 17th, we had Rob Fulton, who is the executive director of the Pennsylvania Association of Travel and Tourism. He joined us to review the Act 142, Section 1770.6, which is referencing the hotel tax and the distribution thereof. And also he provided us an update on the DMOs, the Destination Marketing Organizations Council's, the draft of TPA minimum standards, so that we're fully in alignment with what the state is putting together. And that's
noted. Outreach to key stakeholders right now is really important, because I think we want the first board to be comprised of key stakeholders in the community to be able to stand up this TPA. So the list of 25 that we first saw is actually a fairly good list, comprising really strong folks in the community, and that's what you really want. We'll identify a basic timeline for this first board and what they should actually be doing. They can always change that, depending upon who they are and what they want to do. And also, too, we'll recommend a balance to this board as far as for membership, how many hoteliers there should be on the board, how many retail folks there should be on the board, how many restaurateurs there should be on the board, attractions, museums. There should be a good cross-section of people on that first board. They can always change that. They can always make that part of the bylaws of the organization as they go forward. But we're collecting right now. We have the list, and I know, Madam Commissioner, you've wanted to see this as well, of the total amount of attractions. I'll use the word attractions basically in the county that are could be potential members of this TPA. So once we get a better idea of how many restaurants are out there, how many attractions, then we can kind of say, here's what we think the representation of this board should look like based upon what the total population of the county is of those attractions. One of the things too that we also really looked at is we have a bylaws model. We looked at the PA Dutch CVB bylaws as a model. There are many out there. that one's a very good one, just because I have personal experience with it. It addressed a lot of the things that I just said. And the work's already been done, we know it works. So that might be a good model to emulate, to really look at. You can look at any, but that's a good one. And I think the bottom line really is transparency. And I think that's why the committee and Mary have proposed this meeting, to kind of say, we want to be as transparent as possible in everything that we do and recommend that to the TPA as they go forward. So if it's a membership-based model, which is what we're suggesting, we would suggest that their website have certain tools on there that the members could always look at to see how what the sales and marketing plan looks like, what things have been accomplished within that sales and marketing plan, how many members are out there, just the basic kind of things that you should really always be disclosing in this type of situation. So that's pretty much where we are. We just wanted to kind of expand on that a little bit more, to give you a little bit more information, get your input, and see what you think. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. The one model that I would certainly like to see reviewed is the Poconos model.
I'm very familiar with theirs.
Right.
And are you also dealing with physical presence issue of where you'd be locating and or?
We discussed that we won't make the final decision, but we might start narrowing things down. We were discussing some research and analysis to see logistically where that should fall based on tourism traffic.
Gotcha.
So we'll offer some recommendations, but clearly the new board would
Right.
make that final
Okay.
decision.
Thank you.
Take this opportunity to thank all the folks serving on that committee, public service effort, and especially Mary doing a fine job of chairing that and really moving the process along. And
I'd like to echo the compliments to Mary. Your leadership skills are wonderful in your organization and getting this pulled together. And I'd also like to publicly recognize Jessica's efforts in keeping continuity between the old and the new. I think that her institutional knowledge of what has transpired is extremely important, and she had a lot of the information to get the booklet out, and we do have a presence. So tourism is not being totally neglected during this process. So
Not at all.
I think she deserves a lot of credit for stepping up to the plate and helping us to move forward. So thank you.
Did you mention a number on the board? Is that something that?
It's still being negotiated, discussed,
Okay.
a minimum 9 and perhaps up to 15, give or take. So that's what we still need to flesh out.
I think that
Coming in with suggested models, suggested staffing, all of these sort of things, and we'll deliver it to the eventual board, who will really be making the final determination on your recommendation of the work you're doing now.
correct. Once the
Strong recommendations, but we really just want to give them set them up for success for long-term sustainability, so that in 10 years we're not in this stage again. So we're really looking at that very strategically and with earnest.
So Kathy, I know Kathy's been involved in the front line of this and in the background for a couple decades, promoting Lebanon County.
Tell me I'm old.
No, just a couple, I didn't say several. But it does speak, it speaks to the quality of the people that we have involved in this process, so I wanted to just thank you for your participation as well.
Indeed, as the work you do in Mount Gretna is phenomenal. Yeah, very outstanding.